Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first attempt at a Golden Age live stream. So we're just here and going to talk Golden Age comics because, well, we got nothing else to do. It's, we're all in lockdown. Let's have some fun and talk about some stuff that we all want to talk about. And Ben said, let's talk Golden Age tonight. So we drugged some guys together and we're going to do that.
It sounded like you said you drugged some guys. We drugged some guys.
That'll work too.
Got them to talk about Golden Age.
I didn't get past myself. I found some drunk guys. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, that too.
But with me today, I got Brian McClay from Tales from the FlipSide. We see every week. Out of hiding for the second time in days, which is amazing, is Ben C. Here to talk Golden Age. Mike Morello, who just did an appearance with us and it pops up once in a while, does cover tunes on the site. And Peter Renna, doing dollar bin digging out to come talk with us. So, Ben, what do you want to talk about? Wait, we're going to rewind a minute, and we're going to make
kind of opening.
So we were chatting beforehand, and I'm going to set him back up because I wanted to set him back up for the question we were going into. I was saying I think for the purposes of this chat, we talk about just Golden Age being pre-Silver Age, because there's Adam Age, there's Platinum Age, there's all these things that you can break up and define even more, and some people get really intense on that.
But there's not. There's definitely Platinum Age. I mean, Golden Age. Action 1 is the first Golden Age comic. There's no argument. Right? Like, people can argue.
I just said we're going to try and keep it simple.
Famous Funnies and Tip Top and that stuff, but those were reprints and then Carnival of Comics and all that crap that I can't possibly.
Yeah, I just said we're trying to keep it simple and for the new people trying to get into this.
Exactly.
Make 10-cent covers.
I would suggest there's Golden Age, period, but there's two sections of Golden Age. There's the early stuff that, like, almost everybody has to keep in magazine-sized bags because they're too fat. Like, and then there's the, like, I mean, this is.
Hold on, I'm gonna make you bigger. I can't see what the hell you're showing. Hold on.
Well,
here.
All right. So this.
There you go.
Captain America.
Right, still pre-code, but it's a Silver Age sized. Should always take tape off bags.
Yes, please.
Even
We learned that lesson once and not again.
If you don't, you should always. Oh.
Hey.
I know, a little sidetrack. But it's just, it's Silver Age. It's the 8 pages to the center.
What a podcast.
And then the early stuff, like I think it's like 44 back. I'm not the guy to ask about that. But this stuff's.
Yeah, the giant stuff.
It just, and then there's a period in between where I think it's 12 to the center.
Hold on. Ben, can you do that again, what you just did?
I know where you're going.
We're not doing this, are we?
Hold on, I'm going to take them off.
Oh, man.
No, I just had to throw that in there.
A bunch of people just cried because you mishandled the Golden Age book, Ben.
Where are your white gloves? Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, no, dude. This is actually the first book, Golden Age book I ever bought.
Listen, people are freaking out because people that collect moderns think any little thing is a defect ruins them. And to the point of the market at this point, it does because they all want 9/8. Everybody wants a 9/8. But most Golden Age people want to see and experience these books. One of the guys I talked to in a chat from the foreign group, he doesn't usually buy U.S. books, but he found one of his grails. He bought a Mystic 1.
Oh.
And he's
From
like,
CrossGen?
What?
From CrossGen?
No. And Schomburg cover, he's like, yeah, I deslabbed it, but I tell you what, having the X-Acto knife that close was the scariest part. But he's like, then I took it out and I read the damn thing because I wanted to.
Yeah, good for him. And that's what comics are for, right? Like,
books were built. I mean, they weren't built to last, but they're just, as long as they're not brittle, they're going to take a little bit of, handling. They're mostly not, 9 and above anyways. Most of them are 3s, 4s, lower, higher. They don't have brittle pages and they're not falling apart. They'll take a little bit more touch than a modern book will.
Yeah. Ink's not going to just come off on your fingers just by flipping through it.
Yeah, I mean, like,
you're not going to get the ink rub and all that shit.
But then you have this stuff.
It's going to take a lot to get a spine kick. Let's go with that.
Oh, now you're pulling out a beautiful book that I care about.
I know, and I should probably take the fucking tape off. But
Jesus Christ, if you do that live, I don't think I can handle it. We'll all be fucking crying.
But this is the kind of thing, and I'll be gentler with this because this has like a little bit of moisture damage, and you can see like the book will bend and the pages are supple, but the cover certainly is not. Like,
I got you.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I can bend that cover, but we're gonna have a bad time.
Don't do that. Don't.
But like, oh man, what a great fucking splash page, right?
Beautiful. That's why you look through books so you can see stuff like that.
Right. I traded for this years ago with a dealer. Yeah, that's another thing. People who are looking to get into Golden Age, like, you'd be surprised with what stock dealers are willing to get rid of for what you think is flavor of the month hot books. I've traded more FF45s towards Golden Age than, like, I don't know, Marvel Superheroes 13, Miss Marvel 1s.
Is that still happening, or is that past type stuff?
I don't know. I feel like it's still happening. I mean, like, a couple of years ago when the market shifted, you either had to have a lot of cash or play. I mean, Mike knows what I'm talking about. I can't. I shouldn't speak for him. I can't go to a show anymore and buy, I don't know, a $5,000 or $6,000 book. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. But, like, I can go. I mean, I traded for a Spidey one, a pair of Tech 359s, a handful of Golden Age. Like, I probably traded for, thousands of dollars in books, but I think, $800-900 left my pocket.
Yeah. I've done the same thing over the last couple of years too. Probably since 2015-ish, something like that. I mean, you just build up trade bait and bring it either to a local shop that you trust that will give you good money for it, or do the eBay dance if that's what you want to do, and just build up your cash and just be patient. I think that's the thing. Not only patient for the money that you need, but patient to wait for a book you really want.
That's a good point too.
It's a hard thing to do because we all have a little bit of FOMO. I mean, you see a great book and you're like, I want that. Oh my God, I haven't seen that thing.
Yeah.
But you're like, no, but wait, the book I really want is this book, and I've got to wait for it. And this is how much I'm going to need for it. Let me gather up the spec books that I need, or a couple of dupes that I might have. That's how I got my Hulk 181. I know we're not talking Bronze Age tonight, but I mean, I couldn't afford a high grade Hulk 181. No way. That's a $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 book. So I did the same thing. I put some trade bait away. I had 5 high end keys that were dupes, and I just kept them until the book popped up. I brought him to the shop that had it and said, "Hey man, want these 5 books for that book?" And he was like, "Yeah, cool. That sounds good." And I paid him a little extra money, I think, to even it out, but
the deal.
a couple $100.
It's easier for them to sell smaller books,
Yeah, 10-20% on top of it. They're thrilled.
Exactly, and he was, and he flipped my books, and honestly, 4 of the 5 were gone in 24 hours, and the other one was gone 2 days later.
Yeah,
he made a ton of money.
Honest, at a show, a dealer is going to move most shows, not all shows, a lot more Silver Age than they are Golden Age. I mean, when a Golden Age buyer shows up, they're going to buy big.
I will say, and I'll give a shout out right now, Little Giant, old school comic show, Little Giant there, that show, it got postponed till August, so we should all seriously think about this shit. It's the next Baltimore. That show, man, I mean, shit.
There's a couple shows that are Golden Age based.
There's a Long Beach one, right? There's a really good Long Beach one or something like that, or
it's like Cali Comic Con, but
Cali Southern
Comic.
California somewhere.
Yeah, and Baltimore's not bad.
You need the mix because a straight Golden Age show, I don't know.
Too
Again,
expensive.
I don't want to speak for other people, but like,
No, but I mean, there's shows where there's more buyers coming to look and think, just, you know, there's more buyers looking at that market. You know?
Ooh.
What does that mean?
That comment, the one where you sort of buy a part of a book, you share it with somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh,
comic
I don't like that.
Solo Wookie has a comment here. What does Ben think about buying stock in a book? And that, I don't know. I want that thing for myself. Maybe I'm selfish.
I
But
want to hear what you guys think.
no,
I don't like it.
I can't do it. No way.
I
I just would rather not own it. It would honestly piss me off that it wasn't in my house.
I think it depends on what you're doing. If you're just straight looking at money, maybe you can spread your risk across many books. But at that point, then put it in the market. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people buying books is me thinking I have a little better grasp of what maybe is going to be doing better long term than others, or I think I do. I don't know if I know shit, but in my head I do. I tell Ben I do a lot.
I mean,
Is it gonna be like a timeshare or like the Stanley Cup? Everybody gets to hold it for like 2 weeks.
I think it's like a
Yeah.
holding house, man. You don't ever touch this book.
so years and years ago, I remember, and I don't want to piss on any future advertising opportunities. There was all sorts of talks of like, let's all go in and get on books and this and that, and it was like, I always held out and just bought what I wanted and I'm doing this to invest. I started from the beginning. My intention from day one was to invest outside of own Snoopy books because
I'm there with you, my friend. I am there with you. You and me. That's it. Just us, buddy.
And that's, I think, the point of the difference is people that are in it to invest that have no emotional attachment. I can see people going in on a Wonder Woman 1 or an All-Star 8 together and being like, fuck it is literally just a smart buy.
Yeah.
But personally, I need to own my stuff. And like, that's why I don't own big, crazy books, because I always, you know.
There's always some emotional attachment for most of us. Even if we don't want it, there's always some.
Just to say you owned it for a second.
I think that's where Ben just lives his life, Dennis.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to be fair, I'm out fucking, you know, I'm just in my office, man. I go out back, I got, you know, nature and shit, but
He sent me a video from his crawl space zone the other day.
that's not even a crawl space. That's just the other half of the office.
Oh shit.
Oh man. So
I like to own the book too. I think there's a little bit of it, and sometimes once I've had the book, then I lose the attachment. I'm willing to sell it, trade it, move on. But there's that desire to own that item for at least a little bit and hold it, see it, touch it, look at it, read it if you want to read it. Some of those I don't recommend reading because they suck. But you know, there's that tactile thing to this, and most of us were in comics before. Otherwise, we'd be putting our money somewhere else.
Right. Yeah, we all did some part of this as a kid. Yeah.
There is a question though that like, how did you guys get into Golden Age? Did you start in Golden Age? You couldn't have started in Golden Age, right?
No.
I mean, and at most times, but when you're first getting into it, you're thinking to yourself, I'm never going to get one of those books.
It's his fault. It's his fault. That's you, Ben. I'm pointing to you.
Z. I think it's my fault that Z started collecting too.
I think it's your fault that most of us started collecting Golden Age.
I think you spun me back to it. I had an odd path. I've talked about it once or twice, but I collect as a kid, you know, through the 80s and 90s, you know.
Same.
And
Same
then
for all of us.
went to college, stopped. And my wife bought me for our first anniversary a gift certificate at a comic shop because she knew I read them as a kid and liked them and always talked about comic movies for our first anniversary because it's paper. That was a poor choice.
Yeah.
That gift became the most expensive gift she's ever given. You know, I picked up some trades. I got Old Man Logan, some books, and I read them. I didn't love going to the shop because I didn't know what I was doing at that point. I was confused, so I ordered online for a while and did all that stuff. But I didn't really flip books for probably another 2 years. I just read books, and then I think I stumbled upon an auction, and they had some Golden Age books there. I didn't win any, but like I saw that Kellogg's Buck Rogers from 1933, and it blew my mind. And there was a couple other books like an Early Action and some other things like that. And I saw them. I'm like, I could afford these. I mean, I can't afford an Action one, but I can afford some of these. So I bought a couple Captain Marvel adventures. In my head, I'm like, well, Shazam's a big character. They're going to do a movie. I like this. I'm going to buy this guy. And, I always liked that look of the character. I didn't read it as a kid, but I loved the look. And then I bought some of those. And then I started flipping moderns because I stumbled upon the group after I was flipping moderns. And then I got to that point of, what am I flipping moderns to buy more moderns? I like these books. And then I started talking to the hippie there. And next thing you know, I'm parlaying into Golden Age and everything else that I dabble in.
I thought that, I don't know why it was, I thought every book from the Golden Age was Action 1. I think I thought none of them were attainable.
I'm with you.
Couldn't even be there. I started talking to Ben a little, and then a local shop, 2 local shops actually, started to get some things in sort of sporadically. And I saw the prices on these things, and I said, wait a minute. I can actually do this a little bit. So my first Golden Age book was a Wonder Woman 21. I always wanted an early Wonder Woman book. That's a classic cover. I love it. And I know I can't collect the whole run. I might never even see the whole run in my lifetime.
That's Sunburst. The orange, yellow.
Yeah, the swirly one. Yeah, where she's just swinging across the cover, and that's it. There's nothing else.
Where I get to interrupt you and be a
No, you're right. Totally. That's the one. And I saw that, and I had to have it. It was only like a couple $100, and that started the whole ball rolling. Because then I took that thing out of the Mylar, and I smelled it, and it was over for me. As soon as I smelled that smell, I'm like, I need this in my life.
I have to interrupt.
Yeah.
My son has decided to follow the live stream, so I will behave a little bit.
You're welcome.
He went with me to the auction that I speak of with these comics, and he's watching me. He's maybe 5 or 6 at the time. He wanted to get some toys, and we bought some baseball cards and maybe a Darth Vader figure, I think, at that one. But he's watching me going, Dad, you just bid like $300 on that comic. What are you doing? So
don't tell your mother.
He was involved, so I thought I would give him a shout out, and he was there when things started to go off the rails.
Shark covers? Are you collecting shark covers?
No, that's the oldest was that one there. My youngest is the shark cover collector. I got one that the oldest is a big reader. He'll read anything. He's told me he wants to know how many trades I bought, what they are, can he read them, and what can't he read yet because I won't let him. But he loves the Injustice that I've let him read. He's waiting for Invincible. My middle one likes Bloodshot and Deadpool. He's only 10. So we went watch. And then my little one collects shark covers. So
I love it.
I will tell you that I was very into Silver Age. I got into comics. I mean, I was into comics when I was a kid. My dad had, silver, bronze stuff. I had traded it for Magic cards when I was 15. I have very distinct memories of FF48, ASM 129, which also gives you a range here of 60s to early set. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of shit, man. And anyway, you get older, you get sentimental, and I went, started collecting silver again and putting runs together. And one day I saw that comic, wherever the fuck it went.
Kids are off now. We can chat.
Yeah, well, it was too late, so.
Yeah.
But learn some new words. It's okay.
Saw this.
They've not heard them, guys.
He had
what book is that you got there, Ben?
What happened?
All Star what?
Oops, shit! I kicked him out.
Well,
Yeah, that's how to do it.
What else? Okay.
All Star 6.
Okay.
It's
No,
more
just
fact
a little
early
book,
40s.
Yeah.
Third JLA. No, JSA. Third, fourth. The first appearance is 3, so fourth appearance. First appearance of Johnny Thunder. That means
Everybody
nothing.
loves Johnny Thunder.
Right, it means nothing to anybody, but to me, when I walked in, this is 2012. So when I saw that on the wall and it was $200 and I got a deal, I my mind melted, and from that point on, it was all over. I went and got a Gerber guide, something everyone should do. It is it's just 2 books. It has every cover from the Golden Age known.
Well, most.
Alphabetically. Yeah, the 17 that aren't in there, exists. I made a list.
It's a great book. You told me to get one, and I waited a while, and I did, and then I spent quite a few hours just looking at shit.
It sucks.
Those are the best type of books. Those are my favorite books.
Yeah, it's fantastic, but it sucks. I made 2,500 comic lists, and I was like, I can afford 7.
Yep. I love that phase where you find something like that and then you start making lists. That's my favorite phase of
it's generating a D&D character.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's like circling things.
Playing the game
catalog.
it was making the character.
I want this. I need this Transformer and this G.I. Joe.
Yeah. I used to work at a wafer fab like Intel, and it was the most boring thing, and we would do 12-hour shifts at night, and we'd just be sitting there in this 2001 Space Odyssey world, and everything's you're writing on plastic paper and shit, and I would sit there for hours making lists of the comics I want. Just hours. I mean, I could find one of my old notebooks and there's probably 30 lists. All right, these are the comics I want from the Silver Age. These are the Wolverine comics I want. These are the, you know what I mean? It was, and then you would have a page that said unattainable, but I'm going to make the list anyways.
You have the same thing.
I love that part of, but getting the books, that was the thing. I was the same way with Z, where I felt like Golden Age, or you, Mike, that I felt like Golden Age was unattainable. That, like you said, everything was Action 1, and just you're never going to be able to buy it.
It's only funny because he owns one of the top 25 fucking Golden Age.
Yeah, he stumbled upon it.
But still.
He only owns a couple Golden Age books, but one of them's one of the fucking best.
Yeah,
Which one?
I'm not going to be that guy.
Hold on.
But yeah, blah.
Motherfucking Punch 12. I hate you, Brian. I love you.
So I got to tell my story about that. Okay, so this is what got me into collecting Golden Age.
Yeah, that's the book.
Yeah, well, when I find one of those, I'll be full on into Golden Age.
Yeah, when you start at the top and go down.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, you had to listen to my dumb ass for weeks upon years.
Yeah. So the thing about this is I was that same person where I didn't think I was ever going to get Golden Age. And the only Golden Age, and this is why I asked about it before, that I had bought that I thought was with it that I could snipe, because people don't know they're out there, is I was buying these Spirit inserts, right? Which are 40s, early 40s to I think mid 50s, I think it went maybe. But, these ones are the early 40s, and I was grabbing these up as much as I could. I think I bought, in a period of 3 months, I bought 10 of these things, and they're falling apart because they're just newspaper. But this was the only Golden Age that I ever thought I was going to get, the stuff that you can walk into a flea market and, somebody doesn't know what they're talking about. But what you said, Ben, is exactly how I got that Punch book. Is it wasn't a book I was going to be able to afford regular. Now, it's not in the best condition. Don't get me wrong. It's not in the best condition. It's probably got, I wouldn't be surprised if I see you guys shaking your head.
Yeah, it looks horrible.
I know.
You just send that to me and I'll find no.
But so my buddy Chuck came to me and he just like Ben said, how he traded for most of the stuff. My buddy Chuck came to me and said, "Hey, I've got a collection that I've got to have somebody. I need somebody to take a look at because I don't know what it is. And he basically said, hey, you help me with this and I'll make you a good deal on that book. And that's what it was, because he knew I was like, it's funny because another thing that brought me into Golden Age was I fucking love skull covers. And how can you not love skull covers and be into Golden Age books? And that was the ultimate, right? I mean, to me, there's very few books that match that skull cover, and I'm not a...
There's not.
Okay.
That's why. There's not. I mean, like, to be fair, too, like 6-7 years ago, that book wasn't known. I mean, it was known, but it wasn't. It wasn't a Cindy 37, but it wasn't a... I don't know. I don't like any EC, any Black Cat 50. It wasn't one of those.
No, it was kind of it was in the side. People knew, but you had to kind of know.
The people that wanted to know knew and prayed that no one else fucking found out. Because then one night, Comic Link 2.0 sold for like $12.5, and it was all over. Like. Yeah. And the next one sold for 16. It went up to 20 something at a point.
Well, think about that. That's the social networking. The internet. The internet has made, when people see what those things are selling for on these heritage auctions, it's just like every other collectible, cards, art. Once you see sales and big sales, people want that book.
Well, it's also the Instagram mentality. I want to post that I have this book that nobody else has because that book is a monster. Everybody does it on every book and every kind of pay rate or every kind of thing. But, you get to those books, not everybody's going to be able to find it even if they can afford it. So you can go, hey, I got one.
That's the CGC board mentality, by the way.
Yeah.
It's called flexing. Just,
Yeah, but Instagram's showing off. You're showing off your meal. You're showing off where you're at. You're showing off your books. We're all posting books because we like people to
go. That's why I post trash.
Yeah, well.
I post nothing but low-grade shit that makes people be like, really?
Yeah, but your trash is still your trash is a lot of people's treasure.
I have good books somewhere, but the good books are boring. That's the other thing about Golden
Everybody's seen a lot of them.
Everyone's seen everything. Like, look, fucking first appearance of Marvel characters. Hooray.
Well, you know what? You say that, and everybody's seen everything, and then there's guys that dig into the pulps, and then there's still books that I see that I showed you one the other day, and I'm like, this is amazing, and you go, you said the same thing 2 years ago, you idiot.
Yeah, the fucking yellow
the train
cover. It's what is the train cover?
Yeah, it's the train skull thing.
Yeah, I have that book.
Yeah. But it's like, I've never seen this before. You're like, yeah, we fucking talked about it, you idiot.
Yeah. Peter, you shocked at that? I have that book.
Yeah, not shocked.
Well, let me ask a question then.
Peter, you have one of those? You have one.
Yeah.
When we talk about Golden Age, what are the things that kind of, give people the reason to kind of go crazy on them? I know skulls is one. Obviously color, right? Red and yellow.
I mean, there's all kinds of genres. You can be into good girl art. You can be into bondage covers. You can be into, a certain artist like Frazetta or Schomburg or,
but I think that comes next.
So, here's a great example.
Oh, yeah, that fucking thing.
So you're not using that for next week Jungle, right?
Yeah, he's got enough Jungle. He doesn't care.
I'd like to point out that I can put this out here because I don't need this for my jungle contest next week.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, seriously.
I sold all my jungle books, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
I have some wild outside the box shit.
Of course.
Schomburg airbrushed. I was going to bring another Schomburg over, but I couldn't find it. But it's that daring, it's that timely cover with like.
Yeah, I mean, Schomburg's work is amazing.
But it's such a juxtaposition, like. His war stuff, his timely stuff, is all this wildly busy, like, wild propaganda fantasticness. And then the other end is fucking airbrushed, like...
I would have never guessed that was Schomburg.
Right? Like, yeah.
But it's funny, because that's the Schomburg I think of the most anymore. I don't know why. I think that's the one I see now.
I think of Captain America covers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think anything timely and like wildly over the top.
I get it, but it's almost like he had two different styles, and I've always drifted to airbrush ones. But maybe it's because I like 70s van art. I don't know.
Well, to be fair, he is. I mean, he does the the jean jacket art.
Yes.
Yeah. He definitely has the airbrush style.
Miss Fury.
Fantastic. It's the World War II stuff, because I have some of his crime covers that are like you can tell me it's Schomburg all day. I don't fucking care. It's terrible.
I had a Baker like that. I'm like,
The problem with Baker stuff, honestly, is the if you took the Baker stuff and you took that extra bullshit away from it, all those famous romance and teen confession bullshit that like a third of the cover is just blocked with like graphic and not art. Like if you get Baker, I mean, it's not all going to be Phantom Lady. And for what it's worth, Phantom Lady, is it 18? The blonde, the fucking with the blue? It's 18 or 19 or 16, whatever. It's not 17. That's the good one.
Yep.
Anyway. Sorry.
I see. That's the point that I need to get to, is where you can just rattle off these covers, and I can do that with most Silver Age, Bronze Age, stuff. Just because that's what I grew up doing, reading Wizard. You read Wizard, and you have all those Silver Age, Bronze Age, Modern Age books in your head.
Yeah.
That you can remember covers by saying the name of the book, but I can't do that with Golden Age yet.
Well, I don't know. You get there. You just got to kind of look and see what you like, and you start. It started as my like eBay hunt list or my watching list. And all right, so we said we were going to talk beginners. I think part of it is sometimes if you want to get in on a budget, get in as a beginner, pick the characters you like. I mean, everybody DC started out in the Golden Age. Not everyone, but a lot of them did. You got Plastic Man, which you can buy Plastic Man issues for nothing for the most part. Sometimes under $20.
I just sold a low grade, nice. I mean, it was a nice, good condition, but I sold it at what I thought it was fair, $25.
Yeah, exactly. I've won options.
Someone's thrilled to have it, and I'm like, it's got a good home.
Plastic Man's got some cool covers. There's Captain Marvel Adventures are still pretty cheap for a lot of them. If you stay away from the key issues and the great covers, those are still pretty cheap after the early 15 or 20. After the war, I guess, was probably where it really breaks.
Mike's been getting discount. I mean I'm gonna ask Mike.
You did an article too. What's the article you did? You just posted it a while ago. Was a discount kind of on characters with some of the second tier titles.
Ben did?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Like instead of buying,
that's the kind of thing.
Instead of buying the Wonder Woman proper, or some of the other, Sensation was a little cheaper part of the time, or
it was a 4-year flashback, and it holds up.
The Flash books, and where he was with Hawkman. There's some stuff that's you can buy pretty affordably.
And if your shop uses guide, go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I was just going to say that, just piggybacking off of John, is that I consider myself a beginner in the Golden Age. I don't have any big books from it. I set my sights on a few different things. Like, I love good girl art, obviously, and it's really hard to get the big ones from the Golden Age. So a nice way to get some great covers was to hit the Jungle stuff. There's some unbelievable covers in those Jumbos and those Jungle comics, and some of those non-Baker, like all tops and those kinds of things. Those are the things I was focused on, because they were still beautiful, beautiful covers. And then I knew I wanted some Wonder Woman. I wanted one example of a Sensation, one example of a Wonder Woman, one All-Star, and one Cavalcade. I wanted a detective.
Cavalcade is way underpaid.
All I'm hearing
is absolutely
when we do this Jungle topic next week.
Well, and then there's like the World's Finest has some pretty cheap books in it.
Yeah, totally does.
You can get
and
even for Superman for cheap.
And even for the pre-code horror stuff, I mean, I know people have their sights set on the top 50 books, but man, there's some beautiful stuff, and some of it's the EC stuff you can still get. I've been getting a few of them recently for, I show bet every time I get one. But I mean, 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks, they're still out there. They're not going to be in great shape, but look for a complete copy. If you're a Crypt Keeper guy, you're going to be able to find that stuff. You're not going to be able to find Crime Patrol, but you're going to find the lesser stuff, and you got a nice Golden Age book with a really cool cover. And I mean, that's where I am. I mean, I don't think I've, other than my one.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
If you flash
my
back
one Captain America.
Go ahead.
Sorry, that's the only like pricey book I have that's Golden Age, and it was a buddy's who was trying to dump it. He let me pay for it over a ton of time. So, but otherwise, everything I've got is $200 or less. So it's doable, and you can still really enjoy it. And then like anything else, you're gonna move up the tier as you go. Get your sights set on one particular book you really have to have, but also be realistic. Don't lose your house trying to get yourself a Tech 27. Be smart. But it can be really fun, and it can still be
under a Tech 27 though.
yeah, just open it up.
Me, a Tech 27, and umbrella, we'll make it through it all.
Yeah,
but if you looked at Ben and I's hangouts like circa 20, let's say 14ish, it was just us flashbacking books that I saw, and I'm like, dude, have you seen this? And he's like, not recently. Holy shit, that's a good one. And then he'd send me three that blew that melted my face, and I'd go, God damn it.
There's definitely been a few that Z sent me that I'm like, how did I not know that book existed?
Because
there was that book, whoever it was the other day that posted the fucking that chess. It looked like a Ziff Davis cover with that real intense painted stuff.
Oh yeah.
I posted it because all I do apparently now that we're in shutdown lockdown is make Instagram stories that amuse me and nobody else.
Well, that's okay. But I mean, like, even though you've looked at the Gerber, you had those couple hundred books that piqued your brain, but then somebody else going, dude, did you see this? That piqued their brain, and you're all like, whoa.
So I think you can still with ease get into collecting because there's so much out there. If you buy what you like, and I know everyone says buy what you like, love what you buy, blah 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 blah.
As long as you don't like action pre-50 and shit like that.
Right, or even action like late. Like my issue with Golden Age is like pre-code books like right around this era. This small, thin 8 to the center. I don't know what you're supposed to call them. I'm not fucking hip. I never did the CGC boards. Against the grain, when I get into collecting, I went nothing but low grade. And I'm talking about Silver Age, Golden Age. I didn't care about Bronze Age. VF was low grade bronze back then. And like, I kind of grabbed it if it was in the way. But all I wanted to do was amass lots and lots of books. Yeah, that fucking, I don't know where I was headed with that.
I don't think that's against the grain because that's how I take things. Like, I'll get whatever copy of something I can get. And while I'm a tourist here with this Golden Age talk, I'm kind of obsessive compulsive in that I'm working my way there. Like, I want all my copper books that I want first. I want all the bronze books that I want first. I'm looking at Silver Age books now to try to add to what I've always wanted. I haven't gotten to Golden yet. Now, if I see something, I will grab it and take it, throw it in there, whatever grade it is. I give a shit. Like, I don't care if it's. I can look at it. I can hold it. It could be missing a cover. It can be missing a chunk of the cover. It could be torn. I don't care. If it's a good enough price, I will get it and worry about getting a better one later. I don't think it's against the grain. Yeah. A lot of people do that.
Well, no, it's not against the grain. Going backwards, which is when they do it. Normal.
It was every dealer. I mean, I like Overstreet Price Guide. I fucking love it.
When sellers shops use it, I love it.
Yes, I love it because shops use it, and like honestly, with Golden Age,
they don't have any idea how to price it because they can't find it on eBay most of the time.
Yes, and like there's definitely deals, and I have some really nice books because of Overstreet, but I've also turned down and kept a lot of my money from dealers that went and looked at their raw book and said, oh, well, a 3.0 GPA is this. And I went, that's cool. Divide it by like 1 point fucking something. I don't know, but that's not the, so then you're in that weird place. So one of the guys I deal with the most, he'll call me when he gets Golden Age. Strict by guide, gives me 20% off. I pay cash. He's thrilled. I'm happy. Turn and burn. Like, it all comes back to like having a good relationship. Like,
yeah.
I get called.
Yep. That's the key to all of this whole thing. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. Golden, bronze, silver. Just make a relationship with your LCS. Know which places get what stuff. Talk to them. I mean, that's the only way you're going to get your hands on these books. There's a couple of guys in my area who bitch and moan about not being able to get books that they've been looking for, and then I'll show them what I got. How'd you get that, man? That sucks. How could you? Oh man, I'm so jealous. I'm like, dude, I talked to the guy for like 4 years. He knows I wanted this book, and the first person he thought of when he got a copy into his shop, he called me right up, and I got it. And they just. It's because they don't want to put that time in to make the relationships they need to make in order to get those relationships. And it's fun as hell. I mean, I love those days when I get to go in, pick that book up, and talk to the owner about it. Oh, how'd you get it? Where'd it come from? This is so cool. You know, how can we work with this? The whole conversation is the fun of it, and being able to just kind of nerd out together is way cool than just stopping into a shop and saying, I want that on the wall, I'll pay full price.
Well, a lot of people like to be like a jackal on a shop, and they don't want to talk, they don't want to be known, they just want to go in, they want to grab, take whatever they can get, like for the cheapest that they can get, and just run out. Which, I mean, it's fine. I'm not saying that's wrong. I mean, a shop prices their things, they price their things. You know the shops that sell cheaper than others and what you can get one place that you might not be able to get other places. But at the same time, like Mike's saying, build a little bit of relationship with the shop owner, to have a conversation. Maybe even instead of clearing out their hell arisen threes, point out to them saying, hey, did you know people might be looking for this book because they're not up to date? And you just point it out to them. You build a relationship and they remember things.
Networking is
they'll point out what you're looking for if you tell them. So if they come in,
absolutely.
Like I said, they'll think of you as opposed to, well, we're going to go check eBay and maybe put it on the wall, or check Overstreet, throw it up in a box, and nobody will know that I have that. Yeah, whatever you might be looking for. Like, I don't know. Spend some time.
I think the networking aspect of life in general is the key when it comes to everything. Like, they should teach a networking class in high school. You know what I mean? Like, kids would gain so much from that.
You're right. It's very important, and especially if we're going back to the beginnings of the Golden Age thing. If you're going to try to get yourself into Golden Age, there's not a lot of shops that will buy that stuff in. No, and you need to get in with those shops that do. I mean, there's 8-ish shops in my driving distance, and there's only 2 guys that ever get anything Golden Age. One particularly, and he's great about it. When he gets it, he prices it really low. He wants to move it. He knows who's looking for what. If it's a Wonder Woman book, I'm on speed dial. If it's a Batman book, I'm not the first guy in line for the Batman books. But if it's horror, I'm one of the first guys on the call list. It's just one of those things that you just have to be able to do that, because you're again, like I said earlier, the odds of you finding a lot of these books ever in your lifetime just sitting in a shop are really remote. And you want to know when those books do show up.
Because to your point, a lot of these books don't even make it to the shelf. Like, I don't see
hardly ever
at my shops, but I don't think it's because they're not getting them. It's because they already have people who want them. They know where this book will go if they get it. So it doesn't make it to the wall. It doesn't make it to the the long boxes or back issues. It's just it's sold before you even see it. It's in.
There was a great period of time where I was that guy in multiple shops. And it was all about relationships and spending way too much money, but also and at that time, it was against the grain of collectors and investors. Everyone was buy the nicest you can get. And I was like, no, fuck that. I want 4 copies of Spider-Man 1. Like, I do, because to me, honest to God, I was like, as everything starts to go up, because I'm pretty sure this is in 2012. By 2014, 2015, I all but stopped because the deals weren't there anymore. But in the beginning, I mean, Jesus, in 2012, like, low grades, hey, patient 0, calm down.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, this conversation reminds me of, I remember maybe about 16 saying, Silver Age is crazy right now. it's starting to feel like Golden Age isn't that expensive. And that's kind of, I think, really when I turned. I'm like, I never bought a ton of silver. I always like the bronze and copper a little more. But about that time when I really was like, some of this stuff used to be way expensive. And you compare it to like, you know, even some of these second tier Marvel first appearances, you're like, I just assumed grab the Black Cat 50 that I thought was too expensive.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you like looking ahead. You like being ahead of the curve.
All that good shit. Forever, I passed on all that, and I was a pre-code. I mean, I am a pre-code horror guy. You have no idea.
Oh yeah.
But I passed.
I
on
can imagine, and I dread the day when we do horror on the three comic Monty show.
Oh, I have some. I mean, like
when we do horror.
I don't.
Oh, you can do horror all over the place, but it's not as
You
good.
gotta do super specific horror. I mean, horror is a great example. So EC, low-grade ECs in 2012, 2013, $20. Low-grade Atlas horror, $20.
Well, even that A&G stuff was like
That
under
A&G
$5 and $10.
dollar boxes, and it was insulting.
The people
for
got
what
so
it's
crazy a few years ago. That stuff was kicking.
For what it's worth, that's some of it's really good, but that like the Web of Evil electrocution cover, I'm sorry, like I need 2 more thumbs.
Yeah, it's not that good.
No,
I think it's just people get on a theme.
I passed on all that stuff when I was all the black. I did never bought Black Cat 50, Beware 10, any of that stuff until like a year ago when it was too late, so I had to trade for it all.
Well, because you're like, oh, that stuff's a little too expensive. I'll just keep stealing in my bucket.
Yeah, it's I mean, no, so it paid off. I traded off fucking low grade X-Men 1, and I got whatever I got. I don't know, Black Cat 50, Beware.
I didn't even know you had a Black Cat 50 when we were talking, and you're like, oh yeah, I got one.
Yeah, I have. I mean, for horror, I have everything except for like, if you consider Punch horror.
Yeah,
I'm the weird guy that considers like different genres, like crime. Like when I did that horror thing,
I know.
Like, oh, I see you don't think Crime Suspense 22 is a horror, like is worthy of the list, and I'm like, no, it's not worthy of the fucking horror list. It's a.
I think the issue is Punch 12 is so much horror looking cover versus crime.
I don't know if it's horror though. It's just.
Yeah, I know. It's
like
that one's gotten lumped over.
It's the skull. Because what's the one where the artist is at the desk and he's getting like stabbed in the back?
13?
9?
13.
That's
13's the hand, right?
Yeah. That one is up there in my opinion, with Punch 12, the one with the guy over his desk.
It is when 12 took off.
Nazi dude, I think, and then there's a woman in red on there.
Yes,
there's a dude with a knife.
Goblin fucking yeah. I passed on that book when Punch went up, 12 went up. I was like, this is the only time you're going to be able to buy this book, and it was in a Comic Link auction. And obviously I didn't win. And that's the other thing. FOMO versus you're never going to see some of these books again. How long did it take me to get a fucking Crime Patrol 15?
No,
I tried to make an EC run.
I'm pretty sure you left comics for 6 months after you lost the one.
Yeah, between that and legalized cannabis.
I mean, you were like, you ranted for like 2 hours on that loss of an auction.
I was so pissed.
Well, let's talk about that because that is a big deal. I don't think there's any other, comics age that you're going to say there are books you'll never see again. I mean, there are some peppers.
Well, you'll see them again, but like you always that last time it was the last time you saw it was the last time it was affordable because the next time it's more.
That happened with War Against Crime 10, which is another one of those pre new trends or the beginning of the new trend. It's the first appearance of Vault Keeper.
I'm gonna bring it up and share it while you're talking about it.
Yeah, please. Yeah. We should be better at that. We could pull these images up.
Yeah,
that's one of the books.
Like Brian was saying, though, it's completely different. Like you may not frequently see an ASM 667 variant, but you could find one if you really tried. Some of these Golden Age books, you're not going to find it available. Like, people might have it, but they're not going to sell it to you.
All right, so I got one of the first books I wanted to get when I got
Could
in.
you find a smaller picture, Brian?
I know, right?
Oh, never use
Jesus
Word
Christ.
Point. Word Point's the fucking worst. Just use MCS.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
MCS. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, we get a nice little branding for them.
Yeah, well, you know, I
We've all got deals there. We'll give them some brand.
exactly.
Oh, yeah,
They grade
I
2
don't
points
know.
under.
You're gonna find it. They've got a good
Can't get
database.
rid of that goddamn my comic shop down the side.
So that's why I
You're
can't
just
steal the
mad
pictures
because you
from
can't
eBay.
steal those for your article.
That's what I'm saying. I
what
can't use those ones. I'm like, can't use that.
One of the first books I decided I needed when I got back in. My father was a huge Phantom fan. Phantom, you know, the fucking purple hood, you know.
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane.
Sure.
Hey,
Side
that's
note,
really underrated, by
Phantom,
the way. Catherine Zeta-Jones is really hot in that movie, and
Superman of Australia. Like,
Is it?
like
Yeah, there's like a whole freaking fan clubs in Australia for like generations.
yes,
Yeah.
Phantom's like Batman, Superman deep. So Ace Comics 11. There's 2 on the census.
shit, Mike went and grabbed books.
It has this is where it gets fun. It has a scarcity on
I
the
had to,
Gerber.
man.
Which, like, you can take what you want from the Gerber scarcity guide, but the book's fucking impossible.
What
I
book is this?
resigned. Ace Comics 11.
Say it again.
Ace, AC,
Okay.
like the card.
Okay.
I didn't bring it over. I was convinced I'd never own it, and just I wanted it, but accepted it. Yeah, that fucking thing. Like pre-Superman. You know, randomly one night, I didn't even have it on my save list. I checked eBay randomly. And Sparkle City Comics had a 4.0. I did $1,200 at the time and walked away. Won it by $1. Won it for like $11.59. Fucking shit my pants. I've seen one copy since. That was 2012. So like, and the copy that came up after was worse and went for, I don't know. But
More.
the point is like, yeah, and like there are books you literally will not see again.
No, I mean, most of the ones that are the popular ones you can find. Punch 12 is on the fairly scarce sale.
Sure, but if you have 40 grand,
Yeah, you can find one.
I'll get you. Yeah, I got somebody in the chat that'll fucking sell you one.
That's somebody on the show. But I mean, you know, those very, very early ones are tough. I mean, and some of those things I find, and it blows my mind. You're like, what?
What
What's
number
that?
was that, Ace?
12.
11.
Or 11?
11. Is
Why
that
remember-
that's not the first? Is that the
26.
which one's the yeah, Valiant? That's the one that I'm looking
That's Phantom. 26 is Prince Valiant, and then there's that might be it.
All I see
So,
is
like,
the guy who looks like
relevant-
Lucy on that one.
Say it
for.
again.
Valiant's the one I'm looking for.
To me.
Yeah, I mean, I am too. Good luck with that shit. Like,
Well, it's kind of like who did the
Somebody
somebody a few years ago did the Flash Gordon keys, and that one was, I mean, you could jump from pulps to comics to like pre-comics, all over the shit.
I love the color of Golden Age.
right?
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. The color is just appealing.
Isn't it?
They did it simple. Those are one color. There's no gradients. There's no fades. There's no.
That's silver.
Effects. It's just block. That's straight
That's-
orange on top of purple.
Oh, that's silver. Okay.
That's like
Yeah, but
60s.
it's in the style of.
It's still that early 60s stuff is still gorgeous. But like, speaking of, you know, signs of the time, whatever you want to call it, something like this. Guy will figure this camera out someday.
Oh, it's hard.
Yeah.
Oh.
All I saw was
Like,
yellow.
But this is also that later. I think this is the in between.
Yeah, that's not the super thin.
It's not super thin, but it's not that 40s style magazine bag. I think it's 12. Yeah, this is more. This is like 12 to the middle or
Well,
something.
because there was 52 and then 48 and
16.
Yeah. Because some of them count the cover and some don't. It gets confusing.
Really? They count the cover and the page count?
Oh, look at that color.
If you go to, here's a hint. If you don't know the page count or you can't tell, go to Grand Comic Database. But be aware, where is it? The 52s count the cover? 52 pagers?
No, it's 8 to the center, 12 to the center. And then the big fat ones I've given up on that.
Well, those are ones I'm talking about, where some of them do
that's-
actually count the cover as a page, inside outside as a page.
Yeah, but you can't. Yeah, but as a page counter, like yourself, like you go 8 to the center, 12 to the center for these later 40s.
Hey, fuck that. Don't do that all the time. You got to count them all. You know why? I had a Wilbur 5 counter to the center on one side. It said, great. Years later, I got it out to sell, and for some reason I counted them all. The fucking first Katie Keene page was gone. Just that fucking page.
Oh,
I was gonna say, I would think that if you're missing pages, you're missing it from the center. Like they would just fall off from the center. Like how would you miss pages?
Somebody cut it out.
Oh,
I guess there's that.
So, I mean, the only way I found it, I honestly, at that point, because I was like, how the fuck am I counting it wrong? I kept counting, going, I'm off a page. I'm off one page, not 2 pages. And Grand Comic Database will tell you story pages, how many there are, the ads. So if in doubt, you can actually go through and basically read the book and look for it. So if your page count is off, you can figure it out. Yes, most often it's the centerfold's gone, but every once in a while, man, something wacky happens.
they're fighting.
I had no idea that the Phantom was Australian.
Yeah, wildly popular.
Oh, yeah, get on the foreign page, and there's some fucking crazy.
Look at that
people.
one. Look at that cover.
Oh, don't start me on the foreign page. Oh man, now I'm down that rabbit hole now too. Thanks to you guys.
Dipping a toe over there.
When you want to get sick and demented, get on the foreign golden age. Then you're really in a fucking
Phantom
terror.
26
I'm
must
gonna
be
have trouble just with the bronze. I just want a damn red Sonia from Jaffa.
Phantom 26. You're saying was a real rare
the
one
only-
then?
What happened?
Phantom 26, was that a real rare one you said?
No, I think he was talking Ace 26 had the first
Ace
Prince
Comics
Valiant.
26 is first Prince Valiant. That shit's rare.
Well, like, what is it? Where's the other one? Is it King's Comics that has a lot of random first appearances? Or am I off on that?
The Popeye.
King has, like,
Popeye, and I think
Popeye
Buck
and-
Rogers is in there.
No, Buck Rogers is Famous Funnies 13. 3. I sold a copy the other
Three. You're
day.
right. Popeye's
No one
King.
was.
I mean, some of those
Yeah,
are fucking
Popeye's King.
impossible to figure. You know, they're not on the cover. They're just randomly in there.
I sold an incomplete Famous Funnies 3 like literally last week. No centerfold, no Buck Rogers story, various other pages missing. Yeah, it was a lot of money.
Yeah, that's one I wanted to get several times, and it's only popped up maybe twice since we've talked about it, and I just
Yes.
never went for it.
And I offered it to you, and you were all too haughty-ta for a missing Buck Rogers story.
Well, it was missing the story I wanted, man.
It's not even on the cover. It's not like
Well, I've got most of the Flash Gordon stuff, so I kind of shifted to Buck, thinking, I'll get those. I don't have all the Flash Gordon, but I've got a lot of the tough ones.
Yeah, so that's the other thing to bring up. Like, a lot of people do targeted collecting. Like, people will collect, like, certain artists, like LB. Yeah, like
Wow, yeah.
this is a nice copy, too.
That is beautiful.
I loved LB stuff, and I wanted to buy it, and I just like, nobody else is going to buy that shit. I'll get it later.
Yeah, except for the Blue Bolt and Terror the Jungle. The first 2 Blue Bolts, I'm not a fan. But then the third, it's like 113 or maybe 113 starts the run. Whatever the second one is, or the third one in, is a skull with like this weird blonde hair and like its hands are covered in blood. It's that one. the one after are ridiculous, and then like this one's probably like the third. Like
I am at least. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go into the comment in the chat there. Yeah, Mike. This is my Jedi Burger King glass that I have from. I had this one and I had the Ewok one, and my wife.
Oh, I like bags.
Which one are you using? The Emperor one? Is that the Return of the Jedi Emperor one?
I got them all.
Fit on this one.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So and you have which one are you using? Empire?
Don't bring the Ewok glass. Use this one.
What's that, Mike?
Which one do you have, Peter?
The Sarlacc pit one. Which job is what do you call it?
His skiff.
All right, hold on. Be right back.
Mike's gonna finish the hat trick.
Yeah. Well, McClay has like 75 of those, so don't get him started.
People do like golf covers, lobster. Like there's all sorts of crazy shit that you can do with the Golden Age, and it's fun.
Like
hand covers, right? Is hand
door?
covers one?
Like everything, man. Every and anything you can think of, and you can find almost everything in the Golden Age.
There was some guy I met that collected oversized appendages, feet, hands.
I really like.
I would not be that dude's friend.
No.
I really like UFO and spaceship covers.
See, that's cool. I get that.
There are some fantastic. It depends how campy you want to go. Early silver Archie, like Pep. There's some ridiculous alien covers. Like, oh man.
Oh.
Well, the very first Alien cover, it's funny, what got me into these spirits is the very first Alien UFO in comics was in a Spirit Comics.
Really?
Yeah, it was in, I'll tell you it. It was in, let me go grab my Overstreet. It's funny, all my Overstreets are like highlighted for like the books that I want. Let me go get it.
By you, or did you buy them highlighted?
By me, you know what I mean? Like the books that I want.
As long as it's you, that makes sense.
Yeah.
My wife always instills a rule when a new Overstreet comes out that it is not to be brought into the bathroom. I'm like,
because she won't leave for 4 hours?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, just check the market.
You mentioned the Gerber guide earlier. Like, I'm afraid to get one because, again, I can be obsessive compulsive with these things, and I get one of those things, I'm going to start wanting.
I'm
not ready to start wanting there yet. Even though I'm here, we're talking about Golden Age, and again, I'm looking at the pool. I'm not dipping a toe in yet. I'm standing here. You guys are in swimming. I'm watching you have fun. I'm here, like,
so
thinking
that's the
about
other
it.
thing, right?
You're waiting for some water to splash on you.
Pool first, but that's kind of fun over there. But I don't know. Like that guide, that might mess me up. Like that might really get me going.
It'll get you in trouble. Solo Wookie, I'm not sure. I don't think I collect Demon and Devils, but there could be a fucking theme that I don't even know I'm doing. So I won't say no. I have definitely purchased some in my time.
That shit's too expensive now is a problem, right?
Yeah. I don't think I've had a theme. I had that like horrific run for a while that goddamn motherfucker, as soon as I sold the other ones, the 3 popped in my hand. You motherfucking fate.
See, that's the thing that would bother me. If I got rid of something and then all of a sudden
I was like, I told Ben, like, I'm going to collect this run. It's only 13 books. That'll take me no time. 5 fucking years later.
I tried to make the EC run. I tried to make the new trend, the 3 Volta Horror, Tales from the Crypt.
So I got one.
No, but those runs will fucking haunt you, and then you'll get so fed up you'll sell them, and then that book you needed will fucking show up.
That's what I worry about.
I had 90% of it.
Like selling things.
I traded every non-key EC away, and then got a Crime Patrol like 2 days later.
It's just to fuck with you.
Yeah.
So I'll bring it up. I'll find. So yeah, it was Spirit Comics 9/28/47. So from 1947, first mention of flying saucers in comics 3 months after the first sighting in Idaho on 6/25/47.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I'll find it, but I'll show you guys. You guys can see. this is what's so great, and it's funny that that Ben brought up the shitter rule, because this is the ultimate book in the shitter, man.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say.
And
I enjoy that Brian threw some knowledge that Ben didn't know, for love of God.
Well, there's another one. Did you guys know that? So I'm a big fan of Creator First, right? It goes all the way back to people like Cole and stuff like that. But did you know that the very first Kurtzman work for EC was in a VD prevention giveaway in the 40s? Really? Lucky fights it through. From Educational Comics in 1941, a 16-page giveaway. First Kurtzman work for EC VD prevention.
Avoid the clap, Jimmy Dugan.
So EC Comics, as well known as they are for horror and sci-fi and all the ridiculous shit that got the comic code created, EC Comics before all that, the reason it's called New Trend, and when people say New Trend, they mean Vault of Horror, Tales from the Crypt / Cryptoterror. There's 17, 18, 19 is Cryptoterror, and then it goes into Tales from the Crypt, and then Vault of Horror. Those are called New Trend because those are what came out and set the tone. Like, there's lots of horror shit, and I will argue this to the end of time. Flag Comics #5 is the first horror comic. Not fucking eerie.
I was going to say, not eerie?
It's not. No, it is not eerie. It is not. It is Flag #5. You cannot look at that cover.
You're gonna have to say it's not front
I asked
page.
you before I did my
Front page
article.
Front page is close, and I have front page.
Did you see that fucking number? Did you see a 7.0 just go for $2,000? And I was like, God damn it!
Really? I have like a 6, but it's wrong.
No, don't sell it right now. But man, I should have went for it.
Thanks for the advice. I was getting ready to.
No, I'm just saying that was a fucking low because I paid like $500 for I think I got a 3.
I paid $100. I think.
I think it snuck through in the coronavirus shit.
Yeah, like there's a weird mix. So like, this predates Eerie.
Yeah, Airboy is some weird stuff in there.
Yeah, but there's no way that's not a fucking horror comic. That dude's legs are made out of skeleton. There's bats everywhere. And this bitch is about to axe him.
Can you make it big? I can't see the skeleton legs.
Hold on.
All right, let's see.
Oh, I can see that now.
Okay.
It's borderline.
Borderline, it's fucking Skeletor about to get it in the back.
There's a bat. Broad's got an axe.
Like, yeah, man. And a jet.
That's definitely horror.
The Airboy jet.
But what's the story, though?
Right, so that's the argument. Like, I think the inside of Flag Comics 5 is nothing. Not horror related.
Well, I think that's the argument. Front page is mostly cover.
So Eerie is listed as the first supernatural comic, not the first horror comic.
For reining it back in for newbies.
Nice work, Mike.
I mean,
Delivering us to the topic.
Not that I'm trying to interrupt that kind of stuff because that's a huge argument, and Ben and I have had that conversation a lot because he educates me on that. Of course, I thought it was eerie because everybody always thinks it's eerie,
and it could be
because,
but it's not.
And I see eerie, and what do? I'm like, oh, I'll go buy some eerie, and that's not the same eerie, but it's the other eerie. But it's still like, girl, headlights cover, whatever. That's nice and easy to do. But there, some of the EC stuff, like I was saying before, you can get some pretty dope covers for next to nothing. Like I got this thing for next to nothing. This can be a pricey book, this particular one, I've come to find out. But man, I think I got this for like $40. It's not in fantastic shape.
No, that's a good cover.
I
might have that cover.
This one, I think,
too.
$40, I'm in.
And then that one for like $60.
Oh, I love that one.
These are great covers that you can still get for next to nothing. I got this at a show for I think $80. It's in really good shape. That's creepy as hell.
That's.
But these are not the sought after ones. They're not the ones that everybody wants. But I mean, they're amazing.
No, but if you find yourself
maybe not yet.
But we all have our own little tastes. If you find your taste and you're like, I like this, eventually others do. And I think the issue is a lot of us that, are, let's say in our late 30s to mid 40s, all grew up on the 80s Marvel, 90s Marvel, and we've already collected it all. We've already had it all, or it's gotten too expensive for us. And we're like, what's next? And this is kind of where we go.
Yeah. That's very true.
Yeah, or do like the funny stuff. Like if you can't do EC horror, do some of the funnier stuff. I mean, that's not number one, but it's a great cover. Oh,
which issue is that?
I'm in real trouble. 6, is this 6? 8. Sorry, 8.
Yeah, I mean, Mad
great cover. Yeah, not in great shape. Yeah, and there's a ton of other stuff too. There's Panic, and there's I
don't know.
What are the other ones? There's
Crazy, MD, Valor.
Crazy.
Flip has some good covers.
There's tons of them.
If you want to talk about entry level, I would strongly advise against Funny Animal unless you love it.
Yeah.
Unless it's Disney. You can get into Disney cheap right now.
Yeah.
So real quick, not to interrupt on the Disney stuff, but this is, if anybody ever sees this book, this printout or this insert, let me know, because this is a super tough. I've been looking for this thing forever. It's sold in a lot on Heritage at once, but this is the Spirit from 9/28/1947, where the very first time the UFO was mentioned in comics. So
that's badass, and it's right fucking there.
That is badass.
Yeah. So very cool.
Well, so Ben was talking,
for Disney. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Mike.
Go, Mike.
I just had it in my hand already, but Disney, I love Donald Duck. So I tried to grab a really cool early Donald Duck, and I love this cover. I think this is a Barks. Is this a Barks, Ben?
Yes. Yeah, Barks did the first. Barks did 9/18/29, and then I get lost, but he did up to. I stopped. That's a run I made. I mean, you can't call it a run.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's. Yeah. I think Barks did one a year, but it doesn't get much more. It doesn't get better than that, man. It doesn't get more classic.
Nope.
It doesn't get more classic Duck. Barks is the king. I know people holy crap.
The new guy.
Rosa.
Yeah,
Rosa. And that's a different generation.
No, that's the 80s, 90s guys. So that's what we grew up on. So it is a Duck, if you ask.
Yeah, but Rosa was a follower of Barks, so
yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Barks stuff
is
always popular.
Yeah, and it sells out when it comes around here too. It doesn't last long. The only reason why I'm even showing that stack of books is just to say, for anybody who's starting to try to get in now, that's the stuff. If you looked at that stack that I just showed and you said, man, there's some cool books in there, that's easy to do. Stuff like that is easy to do. I mean, Ben's collection is amazing, and you guys have some amazing books too. Not everybody's going to be able to do that, but there's still some really cool stuff out there. And you're right. Who knows what hits next? Is it that thing? Is that the next one? Somebody pays $5,000 for that book next week on a Heritage auction, and then all of a sudden everybody wants that book. I don't know. I paid $80 for it.
Today.
So
it's funny because.
So I don't know. I got it because I liked it.
Expensive books still jump out. Cindy 37, 2-3 years ago. That book. Yeah. You could have gotten that book in mid-grade for $100 anywhere. Well, maybe not anywhere, but you know what I mean. That book wasn't, and then
a lot of the Betty and Veronica's too.
Well, that's the
thing. The Ginger.
Oh Christ! And Katie Keene. I bought Wilbur. It's not 5. It's 3, isn't it?
5. That one I know is 5. Trust me. When you have the Katie Keene page missing, you remember.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the book I have. I have that and the 2. I don't think the 2 is anything. I just
that's the thing. The other cover was better. I don't give a shit about it.
Yeah, that shit's terrible. The
Archie's early Archie.
But a lot of the DeCarlos, there's just a lot of stuff that everybody has everybody's like, this got too expensive. They're going to the next thing. And then the demand, the rarity is always there. I mean, in the golden age, you don't need the whole market to go there. You need like 5% of the market to be chasing that thread, and it blows up because there's just not that much supply.
Yeah, all you need is somebody on YouTube with influence to mention a book, and then all of a sudden, everybody wants it.
You talked about the Archie stuff.
More influence than me.
Well, there's that.
That's an MLJ.
I'm holding this up because it's Archie before it's the MLJ stuff, and I mean that's a fun sort of you call it whatever you want, sort of a good girl cover. But I mean, I found this for like $20. Granted it again, not in great shape, but I didn't really know a whole lot about it other than that MLJ was early Archie. And Ben and I had a conversation about this.
Buy stuff that catches your eye, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$20. I paid more for that than some modern new store variant that I just like so
exactly.
The next time you think about buying the Campbell variant that came out, think I could get a cool golden age book that I may not see again.
And I think that's really the point of a lot of this stuff is that just pay what you can afford. Like if a book looks good to you, just buy it. Like if it's at your shop, you like it. Don't worry about, can I sell this? Just, do you like it? Do you want to pay 20, 30, whatever it might be, 20, 30 bucks for it? If you're comfortable with it, just fucking buy it and just be happy you have it. Maybe one day it's worth something, but that really shouldn't matter. Like, if you like it, just buy it. Because some of us buy these store variants, and a lot of them don't sell for anything, but if you liked it, that's why you bought it. So
I did the same thing. I buy the store variants too.
Yeah,
that
poor
one.
Ben. Man, I want one of those.
Yeah.
Poor Ben always sees my hangouts and goes, I'm always like, man, are you around? I'm in a shop right now. Should I pay $50 for this?
The answer is always yes.
Well, if Ben's not there, message me. I'll give you a second opinion.
The answer is always yes. Now on. Like, should I buy this EC for $30? I'm like, I don't know. Should you pay $30 for a mid-grade fucking horror book?
Well, I'm going to tell you a couple lessons learned early on collecting Golden Age. These are things you don't think about collecting moderns. Get rid of condition in your brain. I mean, because you're not going to buy a near mint Golden Age most of the time unless it's a bajillion dollars. Or you stumble upon something stupid. Set your sights, look for cover, look for eye appeal. You ideally want complete unless that's not your thing and you're buying something expensive and you're happy with an incomplete. I've bought in a few, but know you're getting into it. And accept that. You are.
You be here, I'm hearing what you're saying, and that's what I'm thinking.
Don't do it on common books.
It doesn't matter, but I would like complete if possible.
I've bought in 2 incomplete books. One was Exciting 9 First Black Terror. And I sold it because I got so annoyed about that fact. But buy ones with eye appeal. A lot of them are going to sell in that very good range, maybe a little plus, a little minus. Learn to do the page counts. Learn page quality, that scale of color. Most of us are used to white or off-white. We don't know anything below that if we've collected moderns. You've got to learn the scale. If you can find it, get yourself an owl card. I don't even know where. I know on eBay you can find them. That'll help you a little bit. But just learn to look at the pages and see, are they dark, are they light? And are they the term is supple, but do they bend? Because if they're
soft?
chipped and break, yes.
Yeah. Are they
brittle?
soft?
Brittle is the fucking death.
That's the only thing. You're never. I mean, like if you get Golden Age with creamed off white to white pages, good for fucking you. You live in the tan zone.
Yeah.
DG is like.
I always live in the tan zone.
Investment grade.
I had one. I bought one book with brittle pages, and it was a motherfucker.
I finished my Crypto Terror. There's 3 Crypto Terrors: post Crime Patrol, pre Tales from the Crypt. And I bought, and it said right on it from MCS, brittle fucking cover. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I bought it because it looked like a VF, but they were like, 1.0. I'm like, okay. And I got it, and it's MCS. They check books. I trust them. I should have let it be. And I opened it and like just completely the entire fucking book right down the center. Centerfold split, pages in two. Like, I'm like,
Just turned to dust in your hand.
Accurately graded.
I'm trying to think what my book was. I had a Golden Age key that I bought, and I sent that motherfucker. I actually sent it to CBCS because I didn't even trust CGC to not destroy it in the grading process. It was like a Marvel Family 1, something in that vein of obscure shit that I like.
Yeah,
and,
I'm big enough to like care.
But like I remember opening it and see a piece of a page starting to flake off and said, "Nope, put it in the Mylar, it's gone."
See, I feel like I have that. Like,
oh yeah, brittle pages are a motherfucker.
Yeah.
So then there's a difference between brittle pages and like chips.
Very dark.
Flaking. Like I gotta learn.
Flaking is flaking.
I gotta learn to take tape off these fucking things.
We're gonna watch Ben scream and lose his mind soon.
No, do you know how many times I've done this?
Yeah, but it only takes once for you to remember the pain.
You'd think in 8 years I'd have learned, but Christ, isn't that savage? So like,
it's yours. You do what you want.
Oh wow!
Look at the reflectivity on that.
That fucking Sandman cover.
Like, beautiful. I think it's a Flessel cover, Craig Flessel. But like, you know, but
yeah, page color is. I tell you what, I've transferred a lot of page color and all that stuff to the foreign market too. It's just you just accept that shit wasn't stored well. This stuff wasn't stored in a bag in the board until at least the 60s, if not till after.
I don't pay attention unless it's like brittle raw, and then you kind of have to. Another point to Peter, complete, or whoever said buying, missing the centerfold, you can get a discount. The other way, this book's not fucking restored.
Yeah, I mean, the center, you can accept, if you know you're buying it that way, you can accept it, but you have to be able to accept it.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is to buy restored. So, like, More Fun Comics, you can't do the run. I can't do the run, at least. Other people can.
You got to want it bad.
I'll get it minus the 51. But, like, look at this. And on a side note, this is a moon cover that I'm not using next week.
Fuck you.
Yeah, you should be concerned that I can toss this to the side.
I'm already concerned. I've already given.
He doesn't want me to ever win another. He don't want me to ever win another week ever.
I think we need to pick that one. I think for free comic money, we need to pick comics that were not themes that were not available in the Golden Age. That's the only way we got a shot.
I mean, it is beautiful. And then right here, there is a pin touch. It's pointless. I don't understand. There's a pin touch of blue and a tiny piece of tape on the inside, which won't count towards it. But instead of this being
a marker to it in his head,
$3,200, it was still expensive. It was $1,200, but that's a huge discount for a time. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how I can afford. I can't afford this book. I can afford, and I didn't pay that. I traded for it. But like, that's how that Super Snipe Comics 8 with the devil throwing Hitler, Mussolini, and Tojo into hell.
Yes.
Like, I can't own that book, but I found a restored 3.0 with like CGC had to like attach a piece of paper to fit the restoration notes on it. And like, you know what I mean? You get a discount that way.
Well, that's the thing. Like, at some point, I'd prefer not to have restored. I prefer not to have incomplete. I'd rather have a beat to shit copy than a nice looking, restored copy. Personally, just because I don't know, I just wanted to own what it was. But at the same time, I'm never going to be able to afford a lot of books. But if I can get one that might have some restored qualities to it, and I can pay for it, I'll jump because that's the only copy I may be able to ever afford.
Yeah. That's exactly where I am, Peter. I'm trying to complete a Batman run, and I accept at this point, like,
worry about the rest later. If I can get a better copy later, I'll get it later. But for now, let me check this one off the list.
I tried to buy a coverless copy, and the price doubled before I could pay, and I was like, well.
Yeah, I'll take coverless. I have a couple coverless books, in my collection to kind of fill my ASM runs and whatnot. Just because until I get one that has a cover, that'll have to do.
I want to do. Yep. I will take missing centerfold and all that shit before no cover. But that
bothers me more. Cover. For whatever reason, missing like centerfold or missing pages in between bothers me more than the cover. I don't know why. It's just a personal thing. I know the cover is
you, Ben?
King, but
yeah,
I don't know. I want a book.
No, I get it, and it makes sense.
I'm more.
I can't have the cover missing.
I'm the same way. I can't have a cover missing because I like to display good cover art.
I have one coverless book in my collection. I'll try to dig it out for next week. John's not kidding when I showed him, like, it's not crawl space. It's like 500 or 600 square feet of the other side of the office. It's just full of shit. Batman 7 has an incredible first page full Joker splash.
Wow.
That's the number 7 I have in my Batman run right now. Like, there's no cover. At least it's a cool splash page. I'd love to own. I mean, I'll buy a cover if I ever find, that's a common thing too. People will buy just the cover.
Really?
And Marion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Batman. I think the earliest Batman I got. What is this? 118. This is the earliest. So I get the silver. That's as early as I go with Batman.
That 10-cent silver stuff's hard.
Yeah, you get what you can get. Again, a lot of the books, because again, as you know, I write dollar bin digging. I go for cheap books because my wife kills me when I spend money on books. When I tell her, like, a lot of times what I've spent on books, like, you spend what on that? I'm like, well, now it's worth twice that. I'm not telling it. Yes, I paid $90 for my Clone Wars 1. Now I could sell it for like $200 if I wanted to. I'm not going to, but there it is.
I think that's a super long-term play for what it's worth.
Yeah, I hear her talking out in the living room now as she can barely hear me because I guess I talk louder as I drink.
That variant, man. I know we're Golden Age tonight, but that Clone Wars #1 variant.
I've not seen that.
I don't have very many wins in my column for like I told you so's, but that one's an I told you so. I was telling people about that book 3 years ago, and they're like, "Oh, come on, the character's annoying. What do you want that for?" I'm like, "I'm telling you, man. Just should see Ashley Eckstein's line at Celebration
now is only selling for slightly above the regular." Like I've seen
I know, and it's so
like
rare.
Something, but like $250 for the regular. Like you would think, wait a second, there's only 1,000 of the variant.
Oh, man,
why the
as
hell?
Soon as when I saw Ashley Eckstein's line at Celebration 3 years ago, and I saw it had to be 300 or 400 girls dressed as Ahsoka in that room, I'm like, yeah, this character's serious. I better get my hands on a copy of that thing. And I tried to tell everybody to get one, and everyone laughed at me.
That's when I started buying Spider-Gwen too.
Yeah, Spider-Gwen's the same way, Ben. Totally.
As soon as I saw the
totally
cosplay,
the same
I
way.
was like, I saw, stockpile. I sold
The
them
whole
all.
generation.
I went to get a drink and I stumbled from the Golden Age to variants. What the hell happened?
Sorry. Sorry, that's my fault. My fault.
Stace?
Yeah.
My fault.
That goddamn
I maybe stop take a pee, okay?
When McClay comes back in, I will tell the sad fucking story of why you buy shit when it's in front of you. And then you guys will know why I reference hatred. Hatred and FPC.
FPC.
All right, let's hear it.
I know the story.
Oh,
I know what number we're talking about, too.
Oh, my God. There's so many books involved. So one of the first big scores I got for Golden Age was I had become very good friends with, friends as far as you go to the store at a point. with a dealer. He was set up at this show. He knew I always had cash. I always used to bring a few grand on me because I want to buy books, and if you have cash, you know, a few grand in cash buys a lot of fucking books. So what'd you say?
I said cash is king.
Yep.
It is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You can get deals. You can get discounts. If it's in cash.
Especially in a comic fucking room in New Hampshire in 2012.
Anywhere.
Like,
anywhere. You bring cash, you have a bargaining chip.
Oh my God. So this guy came in, and the day before I had gone to this dude's store, and he told me about the show, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll go up. And he's like, look what I got. And this is when Walking Dead was like, I don't know, probably literally the peak. Like 92s were like $100.
Right
I think
before the crash.
108 might. I mean, when is that? 20.
14,
Anyway.
15?
He had a long box of that and a Hulk 181 8.5, which to be fair, at the time I was like 8.5. Like, I don't want your Bronze Age trash. Fucking sadly, it's the nicest fucking 181 I have now because I never that and AF-15 I kept being like, no, it can't go up again.
Oh, fuck. It does no matter what you do.
Oh, I'm fucking whatever. That's why I don't own Showcase 4. I kept missing it and was like, that's it, we're done here.
And then you think about it again, and then it does it again.
Ted,
Up there now.
Super World Ted offered me a 6.0, so above my budget back for at any time, for $12,000. And I don't remember when it was, but I remember the next time I saw him, it was like a $35,000 book. and I don't see him not often. Like, it was like 6 months later. It was like the TV show came out, and I was like, Hwah! He's like, oh, I got an incomplete restored one for $2,500. I'm like, I'm out. So I'm at this show in New Hampshire, and I get my buddy, the dealer, calls me over. He's like, do you have cash on you? I'm like, yeah. Of course I do. What's going on? And there's this guy, and again, I am fresh. I might have had a Gerber guide by then.
Oh, no.
Oh, dude, it was so disgusting. I'm so sad. And he's like, let me borrow a couple grand. I'm like, fuck you, what's happening? Like, and then all I see is a stack of this magazine size shit, like all raw, just hanging out in a stack. And he's like, I need to buy it, just give me the money. And I'm like, okay. Like, whatever, it's got to be good. And I know he's going to take care of me. Yeah, fuck. Like,
you're still mentally broken.
Oh, dude, because it hurts.
Scarred.
And then, so he buys a bunch of the stuff, and he's like, there was More Fun 51, which isn't the good one. 52 is First Spectre. 51's like the preview kind of in the back of the ad thing, but it's still like stupid money. And then a fucking All-Star Ace. First Wonder Woman, and then
That hurts me.
Oh, dude, my fucking asshole's still puckered.
That's not the story I thought you were going to tell, but
a stack. I'm probably getting there. It's a stack of books like this, and I'm like, whatever. And he's like, "Do you have any more money?" And I'm like, "Yeah, exactly. That is the story." I'm like, the dealer's like, do you have any more money? I'm like, no, because I got all like weird and was like, fuck this. I don't want to be out. I don't know what these books are. Like, come to find out. So instead of having half a brain and saying, so when the guy walked away, instead of letting him walk away, instead of that, I could have been like, hey, the dealer doesn't have money, but I do. And bought what was left in the box. The books he didn't buy in the box were Detective Comics 31, which is the Neil Adams swipe, the one everyone thinks is fucking Neil Adams to the Batman 227. Yeah. It was that in Detective 38, which is First Robin.
Oh.
There was Detective 35. That's the hypodermic needle cover, which, again, is probably like, yeah, this shit's so like, it's fucking nauseating. Like, so whatever. I don't know better. I didn't find this out till like a year later, and now every time a Tech 31 sells, I die a little.
FPC.
Oh, F fucking that cunt. So, yeah, sorry.
By the way,
whatever.
the copy that I just put up on the screen was
I'm
5.0
putting
for
this- yeah,
35
whatever.
grand.
I'll put an explicit content on the site. So I go in and I'm like, all that, yeah, exactly.
Like and subscribe for more classy content.
So I'm like, all right, big thing. How much do you want for the All-Star? Like, we're still at the show. I'm like, I want that fucking Wonder Woman. Like, this is my chance to make a big play. This is a real fucking book.
Yeah.
And back then, it was like $20,000 book because we both figured it was like a 3.5, maybe a 4. Fuck my life. So he's like, I want 15 grand. I'm like, all right, awesome. I'll bring you 10 or whatever because I just gave you a bunch. And like, I want a lot more of this. He's like, fine, but we're not doing it today. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I go in then on Tuesday to pick up the AF-15. I mean, to pick up the All-Star 8. It's not there. He sold it to fucking somebody in an old Google Plus group that knows and still laughs about it and thinks he's not going to get fucking... Yeah, we're on camera.
FPC.
Oh, fucking off. Yeah, so basically, yeah, man, I got fucked. So on the plus side, I got paid back, and then for lending him the money, I got Tech 48 that came back a 6.0.
Ooh.
All right.
First Batmobile. I got this Adventure Comics, fucking whatever it is, super early Sandman, 46. I got the Hulk 181. I got the long box of Walking Dead. And I got like a dozen other. I have a
You
couple
still did
dozen.
well.
I did disgusting. I think I sold that Walking Dead for like 12 grand. There were like 4 copies of 27, like 4 copies of 19.
Yeah, I think you did all right.
Like a stack of 92s like this. Like, it was gross. And I was selling shit back then. But I ended up with like 2 dozen of like these low grade early 40s books that are all cool, but none of them are a fucking All-Star 8.
No. I still have my Mr. fucking Sensation 1, and it still haunts me, so we all have them.
Ugh.
Well, talk about books I'll never own.
It's funny. Am I the weird one? I'm the one that wants Wonder Woman 1. Am I the guy? Am I the weird one?
Wonder Woman 1's a far
Yeah, the
better
George
comic.
Perez from 1987. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 1's a fine book. I didn't have a shot at the Wonder Woman 1 either. There was a local shop that had a Sensation and offered it for sale on a group, and I went and I was all about it. And then somebody was in dealing for him instead of himself, and next thing I know, it's out of play, and then it's in play, it's out of play, and then the shop folded, and it was nuts.
She wants to join three comic Monty.
Well, you probably beat me.
That's not true. Well, if she's shopping for my boxes, it might be. But
That's nice.
I was questioning his choice of glasses, but apparently that's
yeah, but Peter's got his. He's got his Starlight Pit one, and Brian, who's away right now, has. Which
I
one is
love
he?
the glasses. I don't love the amount of bourbon that you can put in the glass.
Yeah, that tends to go bad places, but it's okay. I
Literally
question
no
why
other
he's
place.
recording in a closet again instead of the room we saw on the flip side.
Oh, my prop room.
Yeah.
You know how many closets he's in daily?
There's all kinds of jokes there. There's all
Lots of
kinds of
jokes.
jokes.
All
there.
kinds
I
of
bet you
clips.
like that.
All kind of clips. Shit, I'll be right back.
I'll go back to the prop room. I'll go back to the prop room for the next podcast.
All right. I mean, because we were in there in awe.
Like I'm literally squeezed in between the spare bedroom bed and my filing cabinet that happens to be in this room. Like I'm on a stool with my feet on top of short and long boxes right now. I'm literally on top of them while doing this.
Hey,
Yeah, but-
listen.
I have
We're
no
from New
fucking
York
room
City.
in my house.
We're from New York City, and we bought this house based on the bonus room being 400 square feet to contain this.
And that there was 4 walk-in closets that I could turn into 4 rooms because in New York those are rooms.
I didn't even walk in the closet. I have short boxes stacked in every closet in this house.
I don't
I'm
doubt
trying to
it.
get rid of them. Well, listen, we're still before it. The FlipSide fan cave. You got 24 hours to get them up, man. I'm not in a room, but I'm in a 3-sided alcove in the basement. My friend the Joker here has joined me.
I did notice the corner of the Joker.
Hold on.
I'm
That's
glad you found a
I'm
spot.
so glad you finally got that up, man.
Oh, I've been dying to. My wife's like, it can't be the focal point of the basement. So we were like down the stairs and around the corner. So you have to turn a corner to see it. But this thing's fucking 4x5. And
Yeah, that's badass.
on Monday, I'm going to try and work it in so he's away in the picture, but we're too split apart. But yeah, show me some ideas. I still have this whole blank wall that I want some fucking inspiration on, guys. FlipSide fan cave.
Original art.
You could put some books or something up there. Like you don't want.
OA, baby.
That would be too
OA.
much.
You want what?
OA. You got to put some original art on there, my wife says.
It doesn't show up that well, though. A lot of it.
Yeah, just like you
Fully
had
painted
before.
cover, Will.
Slabs. Just put a couple
Oh,
of
slabs.
on
Can
there.
anybody else? Can everyone else see John?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just have a black box this whole time.
For me?
Really?
Yeah.
It's
Weird.
weird.
Yeah, it's the whole time. I'm like, fucking, no one's gonna say anything.
As I was saying, I like how the Joker is just a small piece of what you can see because I know what it is, but I think it would be too much if it were behind you.
I didn't want it as the focal point forever, but yeah, Ben, yeah, freak this shit. Oh, you can't see it. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
Can I
Lost
address? Can I address Solo Wookiee's question since it's
Yes.
not comic related? Solo Wookiee, this is an original 1991 gem, and
All right,
this
you're back.
might also be of interest if I can get that. Can you see that? That's it's upside down. Wait. Oh. Signed by Mr. Vi on the back there.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
this is
say,
a
if
91.
that was signed by Randy Jackson, you would have blown my mind.
Steve Vai. But yeah, this is an original 91. And it's my player. She's my beauty. Her name is Trixie. And yeah, because it had to have an 80s stripper name. So
Your wife must be a very patient lady from all the toys I've seen in your house.
yeah, she is. Although she was the one behind me getting this because I was gonna get the question from Solo Wookie was is that a reissue? And she's like, don't get the reissue. You gotta have a real one. That's the guitar you've dreamt of since you were 12. So yeah, that was my dream guitar when I was 12. My parents decidedly would not buy it for me because I didn't know what the hell I was doing yet. So yeah, but yeah, it's cool. It plays like a dream, man. If you ever get a chance to get your hands on one, I highly recommend it.
I love shit like that.
Sorry, that's a huge segue way away from Golden Age, but it's just one of those things.
That's all right. We're live streaming. That's where shit goes.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the point of the live stream, isn't it?
We get sidetracked. It's okay. It's tangents and shit. We're talking enough Golden Age. We have a
John
common
will
topic.
realize you can't censor me out.
Yeah.
I wish I've been running around here looking for some of the other Golden Age books that my buddy got in the collection because it would just blow you guys
Oh,
away.
you had some beautiful stuff.
Oh, man.
I just recorded this morning Global Comic Safari with Matt,
Uh-huh.
and he showed some books that like Filipino books and like Silver Age Filipino books and South Africans, which are impossible. And he's like, Ben, he's pulling them out. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? And he's flipping through them going, well, here's the Nadisha and here, look at this. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, these things are fucking impossible. And you're just manhandling them.
So the last thing I want to say, well, that's something else I would say about collecting for the people looking to get in. Avoid postcode. Like, unless you really like it, there's like 12 postcode book. Like, if you're going to be in the 50s, you need to be in crime. I mean, Jesus, crime. John and I used to talk about this. Crime's the next horror. Crime's the next horror. Like, yeah, now it's too late.
And none of us bought any.
Crime is. Well, fuck you. Crime week next week.
We didn't buy enough of it. Let's go with that.
There's not enough.
What about westerns or double
westerns are really, really weak too, Peter. Believe it or not, the only westerns that are strong are Good Girl covers.
Romance westerns and
not Rifleman
gay ones.
Yeah,
the Rifleman.
Famous. There's some westerns, but you got to go. Like Frazetta has a couple westerns, and
the Tim Holt
stuff. Shit. The Tim Holt Ghost Rider shit. That stuff.
Somebody messaged me on a Ghost Rider one today, not the good one, the shitty silver one.
Yeah.
The like remake of
the Night Rider.
Yeah. It was like it's like $119, like 25% off. He's like, "Would you take 40?"
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I was looking at Comic Link because I swore not to, and then I did for tomorrow because I'm not sure where it's going to fall. And a lot of the books I looked at were pretty weak, but there was a Tim Holt 11, right? 11 is the first Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
That was still pretty fucking strong early bidding.
I bet 90% of that shit ends strong. We just got that stimulus thing. Dude, I have sold more comics in the past fucking... Actually, that's not true. I've sold more Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon in the past 2 days.
I think people are bored, but I just think there's gonna be some books that fall. You have to just pick. These are the 10 books I'm watching. If one falls below, I want you buy it. But yes, it's not you're not gonna swipe ship for 50 cents on the dollar. But there's gonna be some books that slide
this time of the year too, though. Like buying comics across the board, late March, early April. I mean, that's what I save my money.
But usually people are going to cons and buying these books. The issue is there's no cons to buy.
Now it's all online.
We just missed Emerald City. We missed WonderCon is next week, and it's got canceled. Like the issue is all those shows that people save their money for, they're not there.
Do you know how crazy the Little Giant show is going to be?
Oh yeah, there's going to be so much money saved up.
James Payette comes out, and
I love Payette.
I was going to say, for those who don't know who that is. He's a dude up in New Hampshire, super old school. For those who care about pedigrees, he's the one that discovered the Bethlehem pedigree, which was just disgusting high grade.
I would love to hear about the people that like where these pedigrees come from. I want to hear about why.
What pedigree do you want to know about?
Okay, let's talk about the Bethlehem one.
Let's not talk Mile High. We all know that one.
Yeah.
The Mile High one's fucking fascinating. The Mile High 2 one's a little like
skeptical. But I mean, we've all heard the Mile High.
Full of themselves, and
we've all heard the Mile High. Let's talk on a different one.
So the Lamont Larson one is one of the cooler ones.
Rock out, go.
Yeah.
Lamont Larson was this dude who he would write in pencil, Larson, on the cover of, like, the way that church copies have, like, a 10, or, like, the Crippen copies have that D. Nobody knows what I'm fucking talking about, do they?
I know the Crippen D.
I'm sure
I sound like an asshole.
I've owned a couple Mile High. I know the 10, I know the D.
They all had Larson, and so when you have to get a pedigree, it's like 50 books or I don't know what the number is, but you have to have enough books, and it has to be original owner, and I mean, it used to be, because honestly,
Something.
Say it again, Peter.
Did they stop like adding new pedigrees to the?
CGC is not adding new pedigrees until something amazing comes out.
Right, but everyone else and their mom now is calling everything pedigree and putting stickers on it, calling it pedigree.
With the Rocky Mountain and all there's some ones that like the salespeople call, and I bought one from a comic shop called the Pedigree. I bought several from comic shops call them pedigrees, but they're not recognized.
Yeah, so Lamont Larson arguably had one of the best, like the Mile High has, I don't know, it's like 90% of the highest grade for books, but like Larson there's a really nice Marvel Comics one in the Larson collection. Pedigree-Comics.com. I think that dude started doing auctions.
Yeah, Pedigree has some crazy shit.
Fantastic fucking source. If you guys want something to read when you're not reading Comic Book Invest, it's seriously, you'll go in for one or two pedigrees and be like, you'll come out 3 days later when the fucking, when it wears off, being like, I read them all.
Well, that's the kind of shit we all need right now when we're all stuck at home.
It is, and it's super, especially if you care about this kind of stuff. Pedigree, I think it's Pedigree-Comics.com.
Let's see the Pedigree
Yeah,
Comics.
McClay,
Pedigree it might be Pedigree Auctions now.
Hey, let me have it.
Well, I tell you what, I think pedigrees. They've always been interesting. I hate to say it, but fucking CGC giving them the black label is going to make it a little more standout-ish.
This camera, my mouse is.
You think it's going to stand out in a good way or a bad way?
I think a more knowledge way. Because I mean, you guys can say a pedigree, and it was just a little blurb on the book or on the label, and because I've had a few Mile High, not key books by any means, but I've had a few.
It's because you got to have it, right? You're like,
yeah, I sold my Mile High and then bought a new one. What's up, my man?
Yeah, I got distracted.
Hi, buddy.
You gonna play that guitar for us? Heck yeah!
Oh, look at the smile.
He's a cutie pie.
Oh, not allowed to touch that.
It's fine. Daddy's not here.
It's fine. Just go ahead and play that all the time.
Hi, buddy.
Look, that's you. It's you.
Does he recognize himself in the mirror?
Can you clap your hands? Oh, that's snapping. That's snapping. Can you snap? Oh, good job. Snap.
We're all on our best behavior for like 30 seconds.
Oh, no. He already says fuck, so it's all. It's okay.
Well, you're teaching him well. Yeah, pedigree. Man, don't watch that auction. You'll hurt your brain.
Is this what you were talking about?
Yes. You will hurt your brain.
Why?
Yeah, but if you go to...
I don't know. I don't like the idea of a different label. Like, to me...
Well, I tell you what. I learned if you watch these auctions, if you're smart, you'll see some outlier sales here. I've talked a few times about the Neil Adams Action 419.
Outlier high or outlier low?
High.
High. Yeah, I can see that.
Because I watched the Action 419. I had bought 2 or 3 of them in 9.8. And then I was watching one thinking I was going to snag another one cheap. And it went for 5 times the previous eBay bins. And I was like, oh, I got something here.
Well, you got to figure with the
because people that love high grade watch this site because he doesn't list many books below let's say an 8, and we're talking nice Silver Age 8s. He is a 9, 8, 9, 6. You what?
Does he not have the stories up anymore?
They're probably there. I don't know. I don't know if I've seen the stories.
Oh, dude, they're so fucking good.
So I was talking the black label from CGC, Ben. I think that's going to make pedigrees a little more desirable just because people want to be standouting.
Yeah,
They want it. They want the standout label.
Black will be good.
Because you don't have the black label one, because there's only 10 of the fuckers.
Well, they did that whole CV. Is it CVC exceptional?
That's a different thing, though.
It's just as much horseshit.
You don't think a Mile High book deserves more than a CVA bullshit?
I think that
Is that the how great is?
I think a Mile High copy deserves to stand out more than somebody has deemed it nicer than a 9.6.
so. Yeah, I mean, fucking right. So my Crime Patrol 16 is a 3.5 CVA. Explain
Yeah, that's
that
a
to me.
fucking shit show.
Right. Like it's a 3.5, but it looks like a 4. Like fuck you, give me a 4.
Yes.
Or like
No,
it
but
looks like a 5.
listen.
Like don't be an asshole. It's a fucking like
All right, so what are there? There's what, 30 pedigrees? I don't know.
respected or like acknowledged. Like there's the Larson, Mile High, which like we should call the Church because that's so much more badass.
The church.
Yeah.
The
It
Church,
is.
yeah, the Edgar Church collection. You're like, oh. White Mountain, even though that has a bunch of silver, but that has like the 9.4, 9.6 AF-15 in it and shit. The like. On a completely side note, that's awesome. The highest graded tech 27 is an 8.5, I think, compared to the highest 9.0 action, which there's multiples of. It's not even theorized. Everyone who's ever seen the Dentist copy
Yeah.
of the Tech 27 said it's as nice, if not nicer. Dude, click on that top link. Not
Yeah,
the
Barack himself talked
No, go
about
back. The one, yeah, right
Steve-
there.
Steve Barack of
Your
CBCS
website.
and previous CGC was on Nico Time a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ignore this and keep talking, but he was on Nico Time, and somebody asked him about that Tech 27 for the Dentist, and he's like, the Mile High copy that he has is nicer than all graded.
Who said this?
Barack.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Like, if you're gonna trust anybody, the guy that grades for many places is probably the guy to trust. But
that's what I mean. Like, but that's well known in those high circles of people. Like, it's funny when someone's like, "Oh, you have a nice collection," and I'm like, "That's wicked funny." I have a steaming fucking pile of dumpster fire, like slowly, like floating down the Ganges.
But I mean,
compared to like,
I do think pedigree is an interesting thing to highlight. I
You
think
say that about yours, so what the hell does that make my collection? The turd that's floating down the Ganges?
Here's
no,
the Larson.
I mean, like,
My wife liked that one a lot, Peter.
every one of us has a million collectors nicer than us. Just accept it.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
what it is. It's always be reminded there's somebody fucking above you. Like, except for the dude with the nicest detective. To him,
Except the dentist. He's we got like 8 people above him.
Well, but that brings us back to what we said before, though, is just that, look, if you like what's in your room, then you win. Hashtag winning. I mean, that's all that matters. I mean, look, I realize that we all have 2 parts of our collection: the stuff that we want to sell and make money off of, and the stuff that we want to keep. And usually, the stuff we want to sell and make money off of, we're selling to make money to buy the books we want to keep anyway. So, I mean, just again, it brings us back to the mantra: just buy what you like, buy what you would want in your long box. If the whole thing collapsed tomorrow, you would still look in there and go, "Yes, I still have that book."
And that's why the dumb things that I say dumb, but the stupid posts will see sometimes on Facebook where it'll be like, "Hey, would you trade your entire collection for an AF-15 9.4?" And people say, "Yes," and I'd sell it. Fuck you. If I had that, I would not sell it because everything.
I just sold my whole collection. Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I
I'm there with you.
was digging through Google Docs not too long ago, maybe 6 months ago, and I had stumbled across a list of what did I want in 2012, 2013.
Mm.
And I'd honestly knocked probably between 75 and 80% of it off.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get a Police Comics 1, which in 2000 then was crazy, and now it's more crazy. I haven't gotten a Shazam or a Captain Marvel Adventures 4 or a Batman 10, but these are things I just keep passing up. I mean,
You have different goals.
if you have patience in 5 to 10 years and are willing to sell things that you thought you wanted and then you realize you want something more, you can get most of these. And I've actually, on that list that I had maybe 15 books on, I had them and I sold a couple because I wanted something else more.
Yeah.
So if you're patient, you can get most things as long as you don't go Action 1, Tech 27, you know.
Yeah,
you can get a lot of these things that are in your brain. This is a book I'll never have. You just got to be willing to part with some shit that is going to hurt a little.
And that's a very good point because, again, I'm playing on a little bit lower level than some of you guys just because, I'm a dollar bin guy. I just like buying shit, for myself. And I buy a lot of shit. Like, I do runs. Like, I, for whatever goddamn reason, will try to fill stupid-ass runs because I just want to have them all.
No, I'm the same way, man. I'm a run filler.
I need them all, but I do. But to your point, though, sometimes you have to let books go. Like, I remember I won, old school Raz. I won the Edge of Spider-Verse 2 land variant. I won it. I threw $9 in the goddamn pot and I won. But yeah, I sold it. Sure, I should have kept it, but I sold it and I got other books that I wanted. Like, it's an interesting game to play. I had an 8.5 ASM 129. I sold it last year, so my family and I can go on vacation. We went to, down to the shore because I sold that book, and all right, now we got.
Isn't that satisfying?
I bought it and I sold it for that purpose.
Isn't that super satisfying?
It is. It is. And that's kind of what you have to do. Like, sure, I like The Punisher. I don't love The Punisher. So I had a couple of that book. I've sold them both. Right now, all I got are reprints. I don't have an original ASM 129. But I know if I want to, I can get that back. It's not an impossible book to get. There's plenty of them out there. I'll get another one when I want it.
A fucking Ozzy hates me sometimes because I've had some books that are in his list. He's like, what the fuck did you sell the Brave and the Bold 28 for? I owned it for a year and I found something I wanted more.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. Like, I'm sure we all have our own preferences. We all have our own books. Like, I'm never going to sell my Fantastic Four 48, 49, and 50 unless I get better ones.
Exactly.
Those are mine. I don't give a shit what they go for. I'm not selling them until I die. Like, unless I get a better copy, those are going to my son. Because that's what I always wanted when I was a kid. I wanted first Silver Surfer. I don't know why. Maybe I like Jim Starlin. Maybe I like Ron Lim's art. Whatever reason, in the 90s, I love Silver Surfer. So that dumb bitch is now mine at this age.
And that's satisfying.
I have one book that I regret.
2.5. It's 2.5. It's mine.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I have one book that I regret selling, and it's the stupidest one. It's a GSX one. I had a 9.0 that I got at a deal, and I sold it when I was unemployed. And I'm like, motherfucker, it's tripled in value, and I probably won't pay for it again. But I want one again.
I got one. I still got to send it in to get graded. I bought that some bitch off Facebook. I bought that with a beat to shit ASM 129, which was the first 129 I got. I sold the 129 to pay for both of them.
Nice.
That's how you do it.
X-Men is mine. I got to send it in graded.
Exactly.
Yeah, mine's not ever going anywhere either.
Yeah, it's not great. I just want to get it graded just so it's encapsulated in a nice slab. Like,
You want it to match.
You want it to
It's almost you want it to match now.
I just want it just in a nice little case, and that's it. It's mine. There it is.
It is amazing how they have sold us on wanting it to be in the case.
Yeah.
Buy the magnetic case. Buy the magnetic ones. They look the same.
But it's in that pile of, all right, I'm going to send my GSX 1. I'm going to send my my Marvel Spotlight 5. I'm going to send whatever. Like, I got some of those books to send aside to slab just for myself because I just want them in a nice little case. So I don't have to worry about somehow I'm going to drop a goddamn weight or something on the top of a short box that they happen to be in and destroy them by accident.
Well, if you were smart, you would buy yourself some
What are you doing, Ben?
comic barricades on the short boxes, and they wouldn't worry about them.
Yeah, you would. So that's a perfect segue.
That was a segue.
That's a perfect segue to say make sure you guys are checking out comicbookinvest.com. We just recently had a post that we talked about on FlipSide the other day. If I was more professional, I would.
It's up. It's the yellow Batman cover.
Right here. This one?
Higher.
No,
Higher,
up higher, right there. Yeah. Oops.
A little higher.
Down.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the freaking Topher's barricades.
Oh, I thought you were looking for the investing in on a budget.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
The
Right.
stripes, red and black.
All right. So as John was talking about, perfect segue if I was more professional. Go to comicbookinvest.com and look for introducing the comic barricade article and get yourself some comic barricades to help keep those comics in place in your short box. You don't have to go find a shoe box or a bunch of bubble wrap or something silly to put in there. So Z is the smart one, and he's got a nice set of them there.
I've had them in the background tonight.
Yeah.
Try to do subliminal marketing.
But,
I will say this.
Go ahead.
Topher, next level shit.
Yes.
Patent pending, made out of way nicer plastic than Jesus. The stuff they hold up, it's all over the top. I cannot explain how well. I mean, you see the pictures.
Yeah. I'm very impressed, and this is something we've all dealt with.
There's a video where he's holding it, up on the side, and it doesn't fall.
Yeah.
And that's the point. I know somebody had made the complaint like, "Oh, it costs more than the box that it's in." Yeah, but imagine the books you might have in that goddamn box that you want to protect.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
I promise you, the shit I'm protecting.
The shipping is built in. People are like, why do I have to pay $12? You're paying $4 for shipping.
Yeah.
So it is a cool thing, and especially like I've said this before. If you're one of those people like my kids have these freaking $12 Hulk boxes and Deadpool boxes, like you're not going to trade those in. You want to keep those nice. You don't want them crushed like my damn boxes that have been piled 12 high. Those are nice, and it does the damn job.
Well, I gotta say, there's been some really good articles also on recently. I mean, people are hating me saying it, but I'll say it again. Comicbookinvest.com is our day's wizard. This is the place to go for cool articles, stuff. You'll learn shit here that you will never learn. You won't learn anywhere else. They got some amazing people that write some amazing articles. We got a couple of them on the show tonight. This is the one that just blew me away the other day, and there we go. I'm a geek for cover swipes, big time geek for cover swipes, and this one's really cool because he keyed in on some cover swipes that I've been kind of holding to my chest the past couple of years, but I'm glad he put them out there. This badass run of cover swipes is really cool for the more modern cover swipes, but we all know how crazy these Darkwing Duck cover swipes are to find, how hard they are to find.
Oh yeah, the Dark Wings.
I forgot about some of these ones down here. Like this is my favorite one, obviously, but some of these ones later in the run are just like this one right here. The Batman 194 cover swipe is so cool. This X-Men 101 cover swipe in the gold in the coins is cool.
I never caught that.
Yeah,
I've sold more Darkwing Duck books than Disney. And I never caught until I saw this fucking article, and I went, "Oh my good god!"
Yeah. It's not always obvious when they don't match the color of the background. Like you don't automatically pick up on it sometimes.
Absolutely.
So this is and that what Ben just said, how he never caught that. That's exact same thing that I'm trying to put out there. This is the type of article that will make you go, "Holy shit! I've never noticed that," or "That is awesome. I want that book because of that reason." So
yeah, exactly.
Make sure you guys check it out.
And there'll be more. I want to put out there that while Diamond is on that shortage or whatever, the stoppage, whatever they're doing, we are going to recycle content. The beauty of CBSI, we have a lot of timeless content. That article you just brought up, Brian, that was posted in 2015. But 4 years later, you know what I mean? Who's seen it? This shit's great. I mean, that and like, I'm glad Peter's on. Peter's a great example. That dollar bin digging's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll find ways to tell you about dollar books.
The comic, you're right. The comic world's still here. Morello, Christ knows we're gonna have Ass Part 3.
I think we're past 3. We're heading to 4.
You're right. Yep. Sorry.
This is a real quick another article that was recent that Topher did. That another thing I've been holding close to my chest, and I don't want people to know about just because I can't find them. Are these Alan Moore Star Wars stories that are super tough to find. And I'm a geek for early creator work, and he's got some really cool early creator stuff on Alan Moore in this Alan Moore article. Z knows my love of Warrior Magazine, and of course, these two Captain Britain books have been on my eBay hunt list for 5 years. And I still can't find them for a decent shape or decent price.
My hint to you is don't buy a Warrior one to flip. You can't find a bag, a board, and a vessel to ship it in.
Yeah. That's
I have mine sitting over there because I bought it off the wall at an LCS who had a Mylar for it.
I spent more money shipping the goddamn thing than I've spent on anything else.
I don't know how to. I mean, like, I'm just gonna keep it. I'm like, fuck it, it's mine now.
Don't sell it. I lost my ass on shipping because
it's such a tough book to get in high grade too. So
yeah, it's a good point.
You've got one, hold on to it. But yeah, so make sure you guys are checking out comicbookinvest.com for your speculation and investing needs. Find out all those cool articles, and of course, like and subscribe to this page. Make sure you do us that favor. Other than that, I just wanted to say that. So
yeah, we don't need new books to talk comics. Like, new books are great. I mean, I love new books. I get them. I have a LCS pull list. I have an online pull list. I buy shit at the LCS on the day of. I hunt online for shit day of. Like, I do it all, but we don't need that. There's plenty of books for all of us still out there to keep us occupied while we're locked down.
And comicbookinvest.com is your place to find it. So another thing, we'll be trying to pump out shows through this channel as well too, to try and help your guys' sitting quarantine at home bored with nothing to do. There's always time to talk comics and collectibles. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. And other than that, say peace, guys.
We'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow night. Tales from FlipSide. We got Frank Gogol.
Oh yeah, there we go.
And awesome. Me. The fuck.
All right, guys.
Coming on.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.